How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is March 10th, the week of the significant severe weather system coming through. But for today we had a marginal risk in southern Florida. It included a less than 5% chance of hail in all areas, and it did include a 5% chance of some damaging winds of 50 knots or higher in southern Florida, and a small but 2% chance of a tornado in Florida. Tomorrow, just some normal thunderstorms in California and Arizona. Tornado, wind, and hail all less than 5 or 2% in all areas. And day 3, we do have a marginal risk in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. Probabilistic is a 5% chance of seeing severe weather. So not high, but could be. Day 4, nothing. Day 5, we do have a large 15%, a large slight risk of severe weather extending from extreme southwestern Wisconsin all the way to eastern Texas, and between there, including Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. And then we do have a 30% or a enhanced risk in Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, and a little bit of Illinois. And then day 6 on Saturday, it just moves east, and then the threat extends from northern Kentucky to basically to the Gulf, to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia, and North Carolina. And then we do have a 30%, another enhanced risk for Mississippi and Alabama. Rare back-to-back enhanced risks this far out in advance, especially for day 6. And then day 7 and day 8, it's predictably too low and potential is too low. Do want to go to pivotal weather here as to show you what this system is going to look like. It will be a bomb cyclone. So we go ahead with this low pressure system Friday. It's gonna, if you get headaches easily with pressure drops and stuff like that, Friday is gonna be a rough day for you guys. The pressure drop is about equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane. So you can see the low pressure system right here runs basically right through Nebraska. So on the northern and western side of this, we're going to get snow and potentially blizzard-like conditions. And on the eastern side of it, we're going to see rain, severe storms, and then obviously temperature changes once it's through Nebraska. The extreme western side of it, we'll still see some snow, but not so much extreme west side. We'll just see some rain showers Friday night into Saturday. So the good thing from this is it's looking like Friday, it doesn't look too significant for severe weather. But, you know, a supercell or two could happen. But it looks like the majority of the strong storms will be up north potentially. And this will move easterly, and then Saturday also looks like a very significant day with moisture coming up from the Gulf, and instead of it moving from like the southeast to the southwest and northeast, it's looking like it's coming up more from the south and moving northeast. So instead of it coming from like eastern Texas and moving, it's coming from like southern Louisiana and then moving westerly. And then it looks like maybe middle of next week, some snow in western, central, and eastern Nebraska again. And then another potentially strong weather event out in the Missouri and Ohio River valleys. And then in Dixie Alley again, potentially, with maybe some snow in Tennessee and Kentucky on the backside of that. And then again, what looks like about the end of March, yet again, another strong weather system moving through Dixie Alley with on that northwesterly side, some more snow in Nebraska. So this is normal for systems in Dixie Alley, severe weather down there, winter weather up on the northwestern and western side of the storm. So let's look at the dew point, because this is what's going to either fuel or kill the setup for Friday and Saturday. So as of right now, it's about 4. So we'll just go to 15Z. This is about 3. So up here, the 15Z, this is military time, so about 15 o'clock. So about 3 o'clock, the dew points, in Nebraska, we're in the high 20 or high teens to high 20s, low 30s. But come Wednesday, there is this big push of Gulf moisture that's moving through this extreme in the extreme deep south of the United States, that surges north. Okay, dew points up into the 50s, maybe even 60s in Arkansas, and dew points in the low to mid 50s in Missouri. With that happening, that fuels is like adding gasoline to a fire. It fuels the storm genesis, increasing the potential for significant severe weather by the end of this week. But you can kind of see the system through the dew points here. I'll kind of highlight it with my cursor here. You can kind of see this little swirl here, and you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it spin up. This is important, because we have all this moisture up here in Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. Okay, right where the key area for significant severe weather is. Okay, you can see, obviously you can see the front of it, but the moisture kind of diminishes right around when the storms happen. So we don't have a whole lot in the Missouri Valley for moisture. The best case scenario would be that this storm system prolongs through the morning hours of Saturday and kind of diminishes the moisture in the deep south. But as you can see, it doesn't look like it, and we're going to start seeing some dew points in Louisiana and Mississippi, maybe even Alabama in the 70s. Okay, so there looks like there's going to be enough moisture in the deep south Saturday for some significant supercell, maybe even prolonged supercell genesis information. We'll go to the supercell composite here just to show where it looks like the higher concentrated area of severe weather will be for Friday. You can see the supercells pop up at about, looks like 6 o'clock Friday evening, and then by 9 o'clock they're really formed up, and then by midnight Saturday this is probably the strongest they're going to be, is about 9 o'clock in the evening on Friday in the western Missouri or eastern Missouri and western Illinois. With a marginal severe threat. The tornado threat looks fairly low Friday. In terms of this area. Now the area with the higher dew points, like down here in Arkansas, the tornado threat might be a bit higher. Yeah, see, possible hazard tornado. That's just coming with the increased dew points, higher humidity, and just overall a higher temperature. But if we move along to Saturday about noon, you can see the storms, some weaker supercells in Alabama. By 3 o'clock, they start to strengthen. By 6 o'clock, they're starting to fire up. By 9 o'clock, they're getting there. This doesn't look as bad as it did, last week and a couple weeks before, but there is still that chance of seeing some, significantly strong tornadoes with this. Now we're still, 5-6 days out, so this is subject to change. Changes are inevitable and will most likely come. If anything, I looked earlier today. It's changed since earlier today, but this system moves out through the weekend. So next week we start out calm. Next week, okay, and then the next system rolls through. That next system doesn't look as potent, but definitely could strike some concern. In west central Tennessee, for instance, around the Nashville area, for some maybe some significant severe weather. We'll go ahead. We'll find the next system, and the next system really does seem to explode over into west central or east central Texas about next Monday, or not next Monday, 2 Mondays from now. Looks like significantly fires up in north central Texas here, with a marginal tornado threat. And these supercells move up all the way into the OKC metro area. So the tornado threat for that area isn't extremely high, but you can see that it does ramp up on the 24th from midnight to 6 a.m. to afternoon. And it looks like, and this is 2 weeks out, so this will definitely change, but we have a very highly concentrated area of supercells in southeastern Louisiana, with possible type of PDS tornadoes. Cape at about 3,069 Cape, so that's about 3,069 joules per kilogram of Cape of convective available potential energy, which is what storms need, which is what storms thrive on and need to grow and become severe. So plenty of that in the atmosphere. Plenty of spin in the atmosphere as well. It's got a low base. A high concentration of supercells, about 30 supercells within that area that it scanned. So this is definitely something to watch as it gets closer. Then it kind of just diminishes and fades away. So north central and then eastern Texas into Louisiana could see some more significant severe weather within the next week and a half, 2 weeks from now. If we look at the energy helicity, just how much energy for this weekend's system, you can see there seems to be a little uptick in the energy for the storms in Missouri, eastern Missouri, but it doesn't look too terrible. I think we're going to see the most energy is going to be up in, is the Dixie Alley portion of this on Saturday. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. It looks like to see the most energy out of the bomb cyclone that's headed through at the end of this week. If we look at next Wednesday, the energy seems to be around that west central Tennessee area that I highlighted earlier. And as we get to next Monday, the energy, whoa. Yeah, next Monday, look at this. There seems to be an insane amount of energy helicity in this area, to where if a supercell can stay discrete, most definitely down here is it going to produce some pretty significant, probably significant tornadoes. Go to this again real quick just to highlight that the Mississippi portion of that system. So the Mississippi portion, it only looks like southwestern Mississippi would be in the crosshairs for some significant tornadoes. That doesn't mean that they won't somewhere else, as this is 2 weeks out. It's still subject to change. But yeah, definitely something to watch out. It looks like Friday won't be too terrible. Saturday looks more like the day to watch out for, especially in southern Mississippi and north, and then the western, southeastern Louisiana. Definitely, or eastern Louisiana, definitely have to watch out. And then, southern Mississippi, and then probably portions of southwestern Alabama as it goes on to the overnight hours into Sunday, and then the system rolls out. But as of other than that, the rest of the week looks fairly nice. If we go to temperature, stuff doesn't look. I mean, temperature wise, it is warm today. Some places in Nebraska reaching in the 80s potentially. But you can kind of see why Friday doesn't look like a big day. Well, I guess it does. We've got that daytime heating of temperatures in eastern Missouri into the mid high 70s, and then temperatures in Arkansas into the 80s. And you add that dew point in, it just the humidity, it fuels that. And then Saturday we'll have about the same temperatures in the high to mid 70s, low 80s, along with those high dew points, creating humidity, creating fuel to the storm. But yeah, I don't know how much we'll get off this. You can kind of see the bomb cyclone here. And then Saturday, storms fire up. So it looks like essentially the significant stuff will start out early. So the main threat, unlike the last one we had last weekend, the main threat with that one, it was more of just a linear system. So QLCS tornadoes, but anything out in front of that line had the potential. This more so looks like a supercellular significant weather outbreak, which will increase the chances of seeing some prolific, prolonged supercells in tornadoes if they stay discrete. Now, if they don't stay discrete and they stay a linear line, then we're not looking so much at a prolific, prolonged, but a QLCS, kind of like what the system here next Monday looks like, more of a linear system, but starting out with your supercells, your embedded supercells, turning into a linear system as it moves east. But other than that, that'll be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. Join the channel. Subscribe so you get up-to-date weather info for your area, to your friends, family about the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.